Right here, I'm bringing up our website. It says perverts. That's what Hammond Mayor Thomas McDermott Jr. dubs party allies of Governor Mitch Daniels in this video of the week.
Thank you.
It's had a ton of people watch that video, and a lot of people comment on your very frank analysis of the situation down in Indianapolis, and of course Mitch Daniels' comments in his recent book about Northwest Indiana. Have you had any fallout from that?
Yes. Yes, I was in Indy yesterday, and first off, the Democrats think they think, I did a great job. All the Democrats are like slapping me on the back, laughing. But I noticed when I see my Republican friends down the state, they're not as jovial. And I'm going through now going, where's this person from? Oh, they're from Noblesville. I'm like, Noblesville's not Marion County, right? Right. I'm like, okay. So he shouldn't be offended. He's not a Marion County Republican, but
he wants to be.
I'm going through, I'm definitely getting some blowback from that show, no doubt. It got picked up and run statewide, that comment did. And I think a lot of the hits that you're getting is coming from Indy, because it's the chairman of Marion County is a guy named Ed Tracy. He's like a old school political guy. He's great. He's sort of my mentor in a lot of ways. He's taught us a lot of what we're doing in Lake County with the political party. Marion County's done already. Ed loves it, and I think he's pretty much making everybody aware that you can go to WJOB and see the comments. So I think a lot of the comments you're getting are coming from downstate.
Now, I have Governor Mitch Daniels on here today at 1:15. That's all I could get, so I'm going to come back and do the interview. Anything you want me to pass along to him?
I haven't thought about that. I didn't know if he was going to be calling, or I thought maybe our shows would be pretty close today, so it's nice that it's got a couple hours.
Yeah, I think originally, but he has he's in great demand right now, and he's got some national appearances this morning, so I'm like, I don't care. I'll just do it at 1:15.
I'll make a prediction.
Sure.
He's going to backtrack off of what he said. He's going to try to minimize it. He will talk about, you guys got a problem with corruption up there, but he's going to try to backtrack. And
he's going to try to do some damage control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my opinion.
All right. What if you were him? What would you? And just think on the other side. Mm-hmm. How could you do damage control of his basically calling us corrupt and not business friendly?
Well, the fact is, he's going to point out the history, and you can't hide from history. There's been a lot of people in Lake County over the last 20 years that were put in jail. Most of them were Democrats. I realize this, okay, but that doesn't mean that's like saying. So, like, can you draw from that Mayor McDermott is a bad guy, or Mayor Stahura is a bad guy, because we're both Lake County Dems? What about Mayor Uran, or what about Councilman Schmidt from Cherville? Good guys, but so like what he's doing is painting with a broad brush, and that's what bugs me. It's discriminatory. So there are good people in Lake County trying to make a difference, and Governor Daniels overlooks that and just paints with a broad brush. So that's where I came from when I said, okay, you guys got a couple people with sexual preferences that aren't the norm in your party in Marion County, and that would be like me going around and calling all Marion County Republicans perverts. That's the point I was trying to make last week, and it's not applicable. Like, I have a very good friend that's a Marion County Republican, and he's not a pervert, and he's a friend of mine, and I'm sure he was a little offended, and we talked, and I said, listen, Sean, the point I was trying to make is it's not fair for Governor Daniels to say that to us. It'd be just like me calling you a pervert, and this guy's completely normal. He's got a wife and kids, and, he's a happy man. And that's the point I was trying to make. But what happened was, and I think most people that were listening to last week's show realized what we were saying during the show, Jim. But what happens is they pick up that headline and they're running across the state. McDermott calls Marion County Republicans perverts. They don't understand the point I was trying to make. They just read the headline and say, McDermott's a jerk. Like, I don't appreciate McDermott's comments and his name calling, blah, blah, blah. So, if you were listening to the show, you understood the context I was saying it in. If you read the headline, you probably just got mad. And I think a lot of people downstate just read the headline and got mad. So, and it was statewide.
Do you care that they got mad?
No, they can't vote for me. I made a point, though. Obviously, it's a week later, and people are still talking about it a week later. So,
Mayor, let's go right on straight at it.
Okay.
Last week, you said in your, I guess it was a bit of a rant against Governor Mitch Daniels, and you said, hey, I got a real big deal coming, and, just to show that there is some economic development going on here, and Mitch, here we are, let's just keep saying we're not for economic development. Then this week you have a huge announcement. Munster Steel is actually coming north out of Munster and is coming to Hammond. Is that the deal you were referring to?
No, that was not the deal we were referring to, but it's nice. We closed that deal. It actually, I don't believe on last Friday's show we knew for sure. We knew we were making a lot of headway with Munster Steel, but it was still sort of up in the air because of the whole situation with the disclosure of confidential information, which was extremely unfortunate. But last Friday we didn't know for sure that Munster Steel was coming, but I still got a line in the water for the big one, and it's still hanging out there. Hopefully within the next week or two we'll be making an announcement on that. But Munster Steel is a $7 million project. It's coming to West Point Industrial Center, which is right off 141st and Columbia. It's great to have a Munster business moving into Hammond is a great thing, and I know it's going to help the town of Munster a lot too, because they're going to use that entire area where Munster Steel is as the underpass for Calumet to go underneath 45th over there, which is a huge bottleneck.
This is a rarity.
Open lines.
And that there are actually open lines. So often people will say, hey, I tried to call the mayor, but I couldn't get through. Well, that would not be the case today. And I'm a little surprised about that, Mayor, because there has been plenty of fallout about your comments about Mitch Daniels and his book. And I am going to have him on today. It's going to be at 1:15 in the afternoon. We'll just take it then. It'll be during Stu's show. But I will ask him. I say, hey, same thing I asked you the question, has there been any fallout from your comments? And the question, one of the first questions of him will be, has there been any fallout for his negative comments about Northwest Indiana? I got to believe he's had some.
In the region he has. But
well,
I think downstate Republicans probably patting him on the back saying, good job, Governor. I mean, that's a sick attitude across the state is they sort of enjoy just talking like that about us. I think the governor did it for political reasons. I think he's trying to make his fellow Republicans say, hey, good job, Mitch.
Well, I mean, it would be, his book and Mitch Daniels. I mean, he was on Pierce. He's on, Don and Roma are having a dinner for him. I mean, he's going everywhere national. I mean, everybody wants Mitch Daniels on the radio or on the TV. It's kind of like a weird viral phenomena that has happened with him. And quite frankly, his stock has gone way up in the last 2 weeks.
Really? Every other stock has gone down in the last 2 weeks. No.
Let's go to the phone lines. Let's just get off.
Sure.
Unless you want to comment.
You gotta move along.
Let's go to Jimmy on line 1.
Hey, Jimmy, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going, Mayor? Hey, you guys were talking about Governor, how busy he is promoting the book and everything. How is he doing this? Isn't he still on our dime, being our governor?
He's supposed to be.
I mean, so how's he going all over the place when he should be doing his job?
What I think you see Governor Daniels doing is lobbying for his next job. And his next job will be possibly as vice president. I don't think that's going to happen. All right, I really don't. I think where you're going to see Governor Daniels land is a cabinet spot. If a Republican's elected, he'll land a cabinet spot, and that's what he's positioned himself for, in my opinion. He wants something like Secretary of Treasury, maybe back at OMB like he was before, but he's angling. He wants to be in the cabinet. And with his credentials, if things go the way he wants, meaning a Republican's elected, I think he's got a good shot to be in the cabinet of the president.
What do you think, Jimmy? What do you think Governor Daniels is going on this media tour? Is that to sell books, or is there something else going on?
Well, I think he's self-promoting. I mean, but he's doing that on our dime. So ask him is he taking vacation time to Jim when you interview him today to promote his book, or is he doing this on our dime?
Good question, Jimmy. Thank you for calling.
Write it down here, Jimmy. Vacation time or on our dime? You know what? Good question. I mean, I don't always think of these things. It's not like I'm going to sit down and write down a bunch of questions. It's just going to come off the top of my head. So if you guys have any questions throughout the day, have Governor Mitch Daniels at 1:15. Just send them to me on an email at jet@wjob1230.com.
I got a question for you. This is a good one. I saw it in an Indy Star the other day. They had, if Governor Daniels, if there was a movie made about Governor Daniels, which actor would play Governor Daniels? And they had like 5 different recommendations in the Indy Star that day. One of them was Kevin Spacey. They look sort of alike. And it's got to be sort of a small in stature kind of person.
Paul Giamatti.
Who's that?
Remember Sideways?
He's too heavy. He's too heavy now.
That the guy that played John Adams.
The guy who played John Adams?
You know what one of them was in the Indy Star? This is mean. But it was in Indy Star, so I could repeat it. It was Mini-Me, the guy that was on Austin Powers. I don't think that's very nice, though. But
You know what? Why are you're finding an incredible guilty pleasure in that, aren't you?
no, I mean, it was legit. It was in the Sunday Indy Star. So, but Kevin Spacey and Mitch Daniels have a striking resemblance, actually. It was sort of funny. But that's a good question to ask him.
You know, Mitch Daniels as vice president, and I don't know if you were going in that direction, but, you know, the issue with his wife leaving and then coming back, I don't think that's that big of an issue. The issue,
I think it's more of a big issue for her than for him.
yeah, for her,
Makes him look like a good guy.
yeah. But the issue of when he was at Princeton and the drug
That's a
and
big
selling
issue.
the drugs, it really hasn't even been. I don't even know if we've ever even really talked about it here.
It's actually a good point, Jim. It really, even when he ran for governor, first off, he pled to a marijuana offense, but it wasn't marijuana he was charged with. Sometimes they do that. You know what it was, right?
It was like LSD.
It
or
was
something.
LSD.
Yeah.
He got charged with basically distributing LSD while he was a college student at Princeton, and he pled to, I think it was a misdemeanor marijuana charge, which is common. You'll see that sometimes in drug cases, even though you get the more serious offense and then you plead down to, because everybody thinks of marijuana as, oh, okay, that's not in the same league as LSD. But can you imagine if he pled to LSD possession? He would never be our governor. He would never have had a chance. So whoever his lawyer was did a good job for him back when he was a college student. But, you know, that's never talked about. And I tell you, if he ran for vice president, you would hear people talking about LSD and Governor Daniels dealing LSD when he was a
Well, you would have people that would be dragging up all the people who were involved, and you would see big night lines on it. And I mean, they would break it apart. But I mean, I don't know though. I mean, Clinton says he smoked pot.
But dealing LSD is a lot different than smoking pot, Jim. A lot different.
It would be an obstacle for him to get to
For
the
sure.
top spot.
Totally agree with you.